participate in ATP at the Capitol in February, March, which I'm going to be very honest, from Thanksgiving to spring break, that's when I'm nervous. When flu season, cold season, Corona starts hitting, I'm a little nervous then. So, but we will be taking some people to Austin. It will require you to miss a day of work, so we're gonna have to figure some things out with that. But we will go down to Austin and we will talk to our legislators, and so keep those things in mind, keep up to date on that. I'm very politically involved, and I know some of you are too. So when it comes to education, I guess I'm a little more liberal than my Marine Corps brother-in-law likes, but that's all right. Bobby's big. Liked hearing from Dr. Moonley. It was great to know that we have a superintendent that's willing to spend 45 minutes just to come over here and ease some of our fears. It's best for me to know that this is what he's thinking, so that when I start thinking, I'm gonna say, Dr. V's not gonna go for that. Or yes, Dr. V might support that. So I'm gonna turn the rest of the agenda over to our esteemed former president.
Older.
Well, that's what you mean.
White hair,
I think we're
36 years. Just wanna remind y'all, 36 years.
I want to say Diane for the last, because she's going to answer the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why is it important? Can I ask right now, how many of you are rookies? FR rookies? Say that again? Rookies. Rookies. How many FR rookies do we have? So we have a few. How many of you are the pros? You've been around, you've done it a long time? Oh, you're awesome. How many of you think, well, I'm kind of not a pro, but I'm not a rookie?
That's a lot of questions.
I just have a lot of questions. I don't know exactly. Okay. I think what's important at this point, I'm going to talk to you in threes. Number one, find help. I noticed on the FR list, some of you don't have an alternate. I highly suggest, if at all possible, find someone to help you. And you can tell them this, well, the only thing you'll have to be responsible for is coming to the meeting if I can't come. That's not really true, but it works. So they might agree to it, get their name on the list, because if you can't come, we do want you to send someone from your campus or facility. So that's number one, get help. Number two, talk to your principal now about getting on the agenda sometime to present membership. If your number one job is membership, and it is, you're going to be doing other things, but your number one job is really handling membership. You have to recruit and you have to retain. So you need help, but you also need to introduce yourself to your campus. I am your FR, you've seen me before. I'm here to help you. I'm here to talk to you about membership. And since so much of it rolls over, my suggestion, as some of you have mentioned, is find the new people on your campus. Some of them may already be members and they'll roll over. They just need to change their information for ATPE. Some of them maybe totally don't know what you're talking about. How many of you the first time you heard it thought, do I need it? Is that something for me? And that really is what they're asking. And so you need to pull them apart. And I know that in smaller campuses, it's easier to go individually and talk to the member. But in like a high school, it's impossible. So you really want to see if perhaps the principal could invite the new people on campus to meet with you for a few minutes. And so, number two. The third thing is of course the collection of membership, and the dates are in your notebook. Pay attention to them, they come up very fast. MEA membership dues come out, payroll deduct in October.
September.
One-time deal.
September 22nd.
So beginning of September, okay, thank you. Okay. And they come out one time, full amount. ATPE payroll is September 30th that we need to have that in for you to get full benefits, okay? All right, now, I'm gonna tell you the number one reason, what do you think it is that people join NEA? $10,000, it's a no-brainer. You die, your family gets $10,000. Ooh, that's a terrible thought. I hate to leave that with you, I'm changing it. So what do you think the number one reason is people join a state organization?
Liability.
Liability, you're right, for the legal assistance, the liability insurance. That benefit's the number one reason. We try to think of, state, we separate state and local. Local is the Mosquito Education Association. State is ATPE, and that's what Diane's gonna end and share with you, the why we belong to ATPE, or we're affiliated with ATPE. There are many organizations in the state. Some of you may be a member of other organizations. But in the scheme, historically speaking, there's a reason why we've affiliated with this one particular organization. And as far as liability goes, I just pretended like I'm somebody who didn't know a thing. I went to ATPE's website. You can go under where they ask questions, just questions, under anything. It'll let you in without being a member, I think. I think I was not long. And you can go to questions and answers. Why do I want to join? What does ATPE provide for me? What are the benefits, etc. I don't need to go over those with you. We even have a $5,000 bail. Did y'all know that? You get in trouble and you get in jail. ATPE will pay $5,000 to get you out. I think that's funny. I don't know why, but it's there. There are all kinds of personal assault liability. I mean, it's amazing what you're insured for. Comes out for a professional about $1 a day. It's worth it. And I had an occasion about 10 years ago. I'm at the Learning Center in our Challenge program. So we had I was in a room where the difficult kids go to if they can't adjust to the classroom. And a young girl opened a water bottle on my desk, spit into it, closed it back up, I drank it. Student told on her. I thought I was gonna die. I thought, oh my gosh, I guess I'm gonna die. I didn't know what happened then. So I went to Mesquite to ask what could be done. They didn't know, not anything. But I just knew she needed help. I didn't want her imprisoned or thrown in jail. I just knew she needed counseling. And we went to the Mesquite district attorney. He said, I don't think there's anything that can be done. And every resource locally was exhausted and nothing could be done. So I contacted legal and ATPE, and part of my benefit is that service is free to me. And legal spent hours, and what they came up with, they took Mesquite policy, they took the Texas Penal Code, went through it and combed through it, and one of the attorneys found that just shortly prior to this offense, the state had added one word to an assault on a civil servant. By the way, we are civil servants. Just like policemen and firemen, you don't wear the uniform, but what they say is you really do wear a uniform when you're in a classroom. You take on the role assumed to be the teacher. And just like a fireman. And they said, you know what that one word was? Assault? Saliva. They added the one word, saliva. And because of that, it became now a felony offense. So this young girl went from nothing to a felony. I filed charges against her, not to incarcerate her, but to try to get her to some kind of a counseling rehab situation. She was a 12-year-old girl. She stayed out at night, most nights in the park with the boys. Her mother was begging us to have her in residential treatment. ATPE spent hours and hours on this situation, and it ended up really good. She got 30 days residential treatment plus a lot of counseling, so it was a win for everybody. But that would have not happened with a lawyer, and I couldn't have afforded what do you think an hour of a lawyer would be? 300 something, 300? I don't know, I didn't wanna afford that, but I'm just saying that's personal experience. And I know that what you should be mindful of is that everyone that works with a student in any capacity needs liability. Everyone. And you know who your most resistant group's gonna be? Huh?
The older teachers.
Sometimes the older teachers, possibly. How about your coaches? How many of you in here are a coach?
Used to be.
Okay. They say they just have their coaches association. They don't need anything else. Do you know that to get liability and coaches, Texas Coaches Association, whatever the initials are, they have to pay extra on their dues to even get some liability, and there's no educational liability. Like contracts, you get moved in your assignment, your job, or anything, none of that is covered. So, it used to be before they got their new executive director, that the old executive director said, you join the Texas Coaches Association because that gets you benefits into the coaching school in the summer, and you get discounts on some equipment, from what I understand. But you need to join ATPE, and they specifically said ATPE just for our liability clause. And I know that when I first came to Mesquite, which was back in the late 80s, we were back on the playground at Hanby Elementary, and there was a class coming in. The boy, they're playing around, goofing around, you know, fell off the steps and broke his leg or ankle down there somewhere. And the parent filed a lawsuit against the teacher for non-supervision. So these non-supervision things, can't you see this virtually too happening? That they hold us accountable for something? And I'm just saying, if you work with kids, they need to be covered. And there are a lot of choices out there, different associations. And if someone says to you, but I'd rather be a member, my philosophy is more something else, then you say, well, fine, great, but you can go online, compare your two organizations, and you make your best choice. That's all we're asking you to do, is make the best choice. I will say in Mesquite, we have over 2,000 members. That we're second only to Plano in the whole state of Texas. There's not one other district that has as many ATPE members as we do. And we are the only school district that has actually had 2 state officers. So the leadership in Mesquite is incredible. And right now, at the region level, Wanda is holding the highest position, the director, and Donetta is holding the second highest position, president. So you can be very proud of your Mesquite leadership. I want Diane to tell you the why. The most important part, I think, and she's experienced it all. Yeah.
I just want to tell you, on the serious side of everything, I am a paraprofessional in the district. I don't hold a teaching degree. I am just a school secretary. I started out as a cafeteria monitor. Stop it.
Don't say just.
I get lectured so much for saying that, but whatever. So, but I do want to say that I am very proud of the fact that ATPE allows not only teachers, but paraprofessionals, bus drivers. I mean, if you're in education, ATPE is there for you. They let you be involved. We did some research, and I found out, and I'm kind of honored about this, I found out that of all the years of ATPE for Mesquite, or for Region 10, let me correct that, I am the first